might have made this decision tougher for the Bears by significantly improving when he returned from a thumb injury in Week 11, leading the Bears to a winning record and ranking 14th in the NFL in QBR. Bears GM Ryan Poles made it clear this week the team wants to do right by Fields and whatever's next for him.
Talked about this a lot today, that there's no one wants to live in gray, and not know what the future holds. That's uncomfortable. So I would like to, continue to communicate, and as things happen, we'll make sure that we do right by him.
All right, so you can eliminate some teams from the conversation of teams that would need to get Justin Fields. So we'll do that for us a little bit here and try to find some potential fits and your thoughts on them. What about his fit in Pittsburgh, Mina?
I think this is the best fit. I've thought this the whole entire time. It's a good fit for Pittsburgh, part because of where they're picking in the draft outside of that top 3. I don't like the idea of them trading a haul to move up to take the next tier of quarterbacks. Yep. And I also like how he fits with that offense. What we saw last year, the identity they established on the ground, then bringing in Arthur Smith. He wants to continue that focus on the run, but also take deep shots off of play action, put some tight ends on the field. I just think Justin Fields makes a lot of sense. And that's not even getting to the design quarterback run game, which we saw Arthur Smith do well with Marcus Mariota in Atlanta. I think it could be even better in Pittsburgh.
Even when we were thinking about Fields going to Atlanta, Arthur Smith was still there. It made
right.
sense.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Atlanta, though, what about his fit with the Falcons, who certainly need a quarterback, Lewis?
Yeah, you love it there just from a pure football perspective. But let's just take it and back out and take it from a relationship perspective. Look, Raheem Morris, if you've ever talked to him, is a guy who really relates to players on the offensive and defensive side, because he's coached both sides of the ball, which makes him kind of like Mike Tomlin. Both of these guys have coached both sides of the ball. And when you think about the offense that Zach Robinson's going to install down there, he's coming from L.A. with Sean McVay. It's the same kind of thing, in essence, that Arthur wants to try to do. Lots of run-centric type of plays, inside-outside zone, play-action pass, move the pocket. This is right in Justin's wheelhouse now. T.J. Yates, a former quarterback himself, is going to be there. Yeah. Exactly. No relation to this guy on my left.
Glad we
but a
cleared
guy,
that up.
again, who can kind of help form that kind of tripod of people that are going to really be in charge of developing him in a situation like this. Young, up-and-coming offensive line, stud running back, stud tight end, stud young number 1 wide receiver, back home with Raheem Morris. I mean, are you kidding me? If I'm Justin Fields, I'm going, please.
Yeah,
Please
he talked about it a little bit in previous weeks, saying, naming even the weapons on that offense and kind of thinking through it himself. All right, so his former offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, is now in Vegas with the Raiders. How about that fit, Field?
Yeah, Laura, I think it's natural to connect some dots right there. I actually kind of think that maybe Luke Getsy's presence in Las Vegas makes it less likely that they would acquire Justin Fields. My general feeling about how Luke Getsy feels about Justin Fields is it's very much on one side of the extreme or the other. He probably either thinks that Justin Fields has all the goods to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback and that they just need a little more time together, or he feels like, you know what, we gave it a hearty shot this past year, but it's just not the right fit for them. I tend to think it's more of the latter, and if you're Las Vegas, the interesting part about this offense is that their head coach, Antonio Pierce, has made it very clear. Like, we want to play amazing defense, ground control on offense, and the formula that worked for us in the last time the Chiefs lost a football game, which was Christmas Day of 2023, is how they want to play football. And yet they have all the weapons, or at least some of the weapons in place. 2 wide receivers, a tight end, Michael Mayer, they drafted in the 2nd round last year, that you'd say to yourself, if they made a legitimate quarterback upgrade, easier said than done, this team could be fun offensively. I just don't think that Justin Fields is the right fit.
Yeah, it does feel like this is imminent. You heard the urgency even from the Bears GM Ryan Poles. Lewis, what kind of package do you think it's going to take to get Fields? What does that look like?
To get Fields from Chicago?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably going to like multiple 2s, something like that, where, look, no one's going to probably really extend themselves. The only team that really would extend themselves really in this kind of situation, I believe, would be a team that had some kind of previous familiarity with him, where you could actually say, hey, look, we need to pay a premium because I know exactly what we're getting, but I think you can cancel that out. Obviously, look, Luke is the one who knows most about him. Yeah. And they fired Luke in Chicago. Yeah. So there's obviously a bunch of reasons why Vegas is out of this. And I think there's no doubt that what Ryan Poles is alluding to, meaning no one likes to live in the gray, I hope this is done sooner rather than later. What he's saying is, I'm going to wait to get the best deal for him if that's, in fact, what I'm going to do. And teams aren't going to be ready to move right now. They're going to try and play this stare-down game. And I think this is going to take longer than people expect, unless a team steps up like that.